Hello, this is the voice of Aggroed. Today it is June 18th in the year of 2021. The time is 2 p.m. Eastern, and that means it's time for another AMA. Now, normally this is where I'd go and introduce my co founder, Matt, and Matt would say something like, "Hey guys, good to be here," um, just in his quiet, calm way. But unfortunately, Matt can't be here today. We are navigating family stuff and I actually think he's having fun this weekend. He probably has his computer with him. He's probably doing work while he's having fun. But I think this is going to be one of like the first weekends that he actually takes somewhat of a stress break. So I know, we all want him just chained to a desk and constantly working, but the man is allowed a couple minutes of freedom every now and then. So kudos to Matt. Let's all wish him a peaceful and lovely weekend. So and again, he'll probably be around because he's a little addicted. But okay, so here we go. I'm gonna go back up to June 15th. That's where I start seeing questions, and then I can roll through them. I'll do my best. I don't want to answer for Matt, so if you guys get super technical or if you guys get really into the weeds on something, I might have to defer, and we'll see how this goes. Um, Okay, and then hey, Chris, could you go into the YGG group and see if any of the YGG guys want to come and just say hi? We need to get into a rhythm of inviting them here, but um, those guys just raised a couple $1 million, so kudos to them. That's good timing for their announcement to be like, we're joining the Splinterlands organization, and by the way, we have $3.6 million we just raised by assets. The timing's amazing. Okay, here we go. UniQM is asking, question about the brawls. Usually in battles, you have a few seconds, maybe 20 or 30, to submit your team after the countdown is over. Is that a hard stop in the brawls? It's supposed to be. If that's an error, we can go communicate with Cryptomancer and just check and see, if there's a timing error. But that is supposed to be like hard stop. There's not like, a sudden death countdown timer because you missed the first one. No, it's just one timer. Gladius is asking, God forbid something happen to founders, who will keep the game running? Yep. So on the business and financial side, if I, am murdered, am hit by a truck, sent to jail or something, then there are members of our board who are VCs and who are like accelerator heads and people that are very familiar with business, and it'll go on. And then we have since the beginning of this thing been hiring devs. And so we actually have quite a number of highly competent devs, and Matt has been in the process of basically training a whole bunch of people to either take on his responsibilities in a couple areas, or honestly, we have one or two people that could probably take on his responsibilities in every area. So a year and a half ago, that would have been like a devastating, I don't know what we do. Today, it would be like, wow, development would be much slower, decisions would probably be worse, and creativity wouldn't be as good. But I want you to know that we will survive. But certainly, everything is so much better with Matt here. He's just a very gifted programmer, insanely dedicated to this game and this community, and we're blessed to have him as part of this. And just alive, because he's actually a really wonderful man. I don't know if you guys have gotten chances to talk with him. Falling Forwards is asking, what do totems do? So totems have not been completely detailed everywhere, um, but they are tools that help landowners to increase the production of land. That's one of the like stated utilities of these tokens. So if you are a landowner, and especially if you have like really high priority prized land, you know, the extra rare resources are the ones where, I think we're going to see the meta evolve into putting your alpha gold foil max level cards on top of your super scarce resource lands, and you'll slap in your best totems all into one place to really try to maximize your production of something that is otherwise super hard to get. But that stuff is still in creation, so I don't want to tell you exactly what it does. I just want to share, that's the rough plan. Are the dark energy crystals and other assets held and owned by the Steam Monsters Splinterlands accounts eligible for SPS airdrop? I'm pretty certain the answer is no. Man, Matt has like the technicals of the white paper, so I want to like have him review that code and just tell me that line that says, you know, is it the entire balance or are we excluding it? But it is my current understanding we're excluding it, sort of like we did for when we were doing like liquidity rewards, DEC for being part of the Ethereum Uniswap pool. We excluded the Splinterlands and Steam Monsters accounts. We're doing things like reserving 10% for a foundation, and we have some control of that foundation. So, it's less of like I don't know. I don't see us like trying to constantly leech this or use the company account to like get some controlling shares. The whole point of this thing is to go reward the players and give you guys a token that appreciates and trades on major exchanges, and hopefully we all benefit, not just Splinterlands, and hopefully the players benefit proportionally or disproportionately compared to Splinterlands. We want you guys getting the wealth. All right. I don't have my glasses on, so sometimes it's, even though like his name is Mike possibly, but I'm just having a little bit of difficulty reading. And is it sufficient to connect a Binance Smart Chain Ethereum wallet with a dark energy crystal liquidity stake in it to your Splinterlands account for it to count towards the SPS airdrop? I don't know each individual specification. Matt's doing his best to think of every single circumstance that could lead to you possibly getting airdrop points so that you can get them. And that's across all chains, and we're going to try to think through every possibility. So whether that is one specifically that he's already accounted for, I don't know. But at least the intention when this stuff starts going live and we start doing airdrops and helping players get the SPS token, we don't want you to have to like make drastic changes or choices with what you're doing. We want it so that, however you're interacting with your cards now, that you guys will get credit. Question: what happens to lands that go unclaimed in gameplay? If castles' keeps are affected by local land, will they be negatively impacted if such neighborhoods never arrive due to speculators holding on to claims, or if lands get abandoned, neglected over time? Yeah, we might have to go issue some kind of like land redemption process that if your land remains abandoned for 2 years, we can claim eminent domain and take it back. But that's like a really slippery slope, and I'm not sure that we even want to do that. That's just sort of, it just gets funny to think of like Splinterlands doing eminent domain. But I know that one plot went to at null. I don't know the full circumstances around that, but we're down one as is. So yeah, I mean it's possible that this stuff gets into disrepair, disuse, but as far as I know, we don't have any plans for that other than to sort of treat it like Bitcoin that's in a wallet where you lost your keys. If it's a castle or keep, we do actually have some plans to allow people to contribute to castles and keeps. And the guy that was supposed to get all the benefits might not actually get them anymore, but the community still can. So we're trying to build this thing so that if you have absentee landlords in important spots, not just your private, but like important public things like keeps and castles and whatever else we come up with, there's ways for the community to work around an abandoned property. Question: what happens to lands that go unclaimed in gameplay? Nope, just did that. And what if a castle keep is never claimed? Does that negatively affect the whole tract or region? Never thought about that possibility. Great question. Yeah, I mean, if you have a castle or keep and you don't claim it, that's not great. But again, just keep in mind that the whole point is you can the community that are in surrounding. Like if you own land within that area, you should be able to go contribute to it, even if it's not yours, and experience a benefit. There's no like bad thing that happens to you. It's just it's not as good for you. So I think well-managed land where you and your region either house it personally or work really well together as a team is one of the is going to be one of the things that I'm really excited about, because kind of like with guilds, if you guys can work socially together, I think that will improve your game experience. And we are actively promoting that. We want that to happen. In my brain, we have some like really awesome people that are part of this game and community. And so, games will come and go, and you'll say, okay, that was fun, and this is less fun, or, I played a lot, now I don't want to play anymore. And, DeFi projects are going to pop up everywhere. So you guys are going to say, hey, here's a better return, here's the best return. I'm going into Bitcoin, I'm going into fiat, I'm going into Splinterland, I'm going into Axie, or going into whatever the hell it is that you guys feel like. You're going to ape into everything. Um, but one thing that you can't replace is Matt Clark. One thing you can't replace is Yaba. One thing you can't replace is, the community, the guild that you have, and the people that are part of this, that welcome new players, say nice things, help out other folks, and trying to make this the best experience for new users in crypto anywhere on the blockchain. So that's the secret strategy, is let's go get the game to be more and more social, where you're connected with friends and family, and it's not just the game and it's not just the rewards, it's the community that you can't ever leave. And if we do that well, then we can all be thankful. All right. Any plans on adding a way to see past brawl results? It's all on chain, so we should be able to do that pretty well. I'll ask Mansour about that when we're done, sort of with rolling out stage two, or if that can be part of rolling out stage two. Question: Ever plan to have a version of Brawl or tournament where your cards are hidden? This could cancel certain card synergies and add another level of intrigue and strategy. Probably not, because when you're in the game, it's like everything's on chain. I don't know. I don't quite know what you mean by conceal, but it seems tricky to do that. The Noxious Fume strategy is getting to be annoying, and the main reason there are ties. Do you plan to address the Ice Cube Llama versus Ice Cube Llama battles that often end in long, drawn-out ties? That's what affliction's for, and other such things. Um, I don't know. Ask. I'm probably the wrong guy to ask. Go ask the Yasiks and Byzantinus how you counter that, and what are there better ways? And if there are things that we can do, we'll probably just add new cards or add new components. Not sure if this was talked about before, but any plans to give people the ability to create custom titles? We have offered a couple custom titles in the past, but they've been through Kickstarter. It's a lot of manual work for not a super big return for a very small number of people. So that's probably not something that we're going to focus on. Yeah, I really like it when you guys put Q or question at the front. So thanks for doing that. Is it official that reward cards with beta design will not be available in the new ranked format? I don't think that beta is scheduled to be part of the modern format. So, um, they'll be used just like they are right now, but your betas and alphas are not scheduled to be part of the wild format. The whole point of that thing is to make it so that new players can get in, and you don't have to spend and own every single card in the game to be competitive. You just have to be in the current edition, maybe one edition back to, maybe some of like the little side things like the orbs and the dice, just for flavor and a little bit more to play with. But if we really start allowing every single edition in all things, one, it gets confusing to players, and two, it just gets really prohibitively expensive. So, you guys are always telling us, make it a better experience for the new players, make it a better experience for the new players. And some of that is around the financial cost to get into the game. And so that's been a leading influence on why we've done this. All right. Are there any more information or incentives for providing DEC liquidity or dark energy crystal liquidity? Yeah, liquidity is a key piece. I think that we lost a little bit of momentum with that with SPS, but I think we're also trying to just design it into how we're doing all liquidity providing. So it's not abandoned. Things are still there. You're still getting rewards, but I don't think that like it's currently searching and flattening out so that you can, like right now you're getting money based off which pool you're in, but we want it so like regardless of what pool you choose to be in, you're getting rewarded regardless. So we'll see how that shakes out. Um, Fat Jimmy's asking, since BCX of cards is recorded on blockchain, will separating cards ever be a possibility? This could be useful, especially when the cards are combined over level, and I believe I have some maxed alphas over combined. Yeah, we're not planning on reversing that. So, I mean, I can't tell you no, and you know, you guys might vote in a proposal to make us do this. So, all things are possible when you start getting into governance. But Matt and I have zero intention of doing that. All right, what else have we got here? Um, all right, and I see Knight's here. So Knight, do you have a mic? You can come in. And Bry, if I miss your question, feel free to just do it again. There's no um, look, there's no malice in this. I'm just doing the best I can to read, to stay ahead, and try to figure it out. All right. So one of the Cydrake is asking, who's from the Yulgo Games group, what's your future plans for land? You know, let me just give you the big picture there. Land, you know, we want cards to be something that everybody can access, and that's why we plan to keep selling them at $2, and we want to keep um, adding new packs of cards basically once every year. If we start blowing up even more than we are, and this gets crazy, maybe we'll try to do like a Magic the Gathering style every 6 months. But you know, there's a lot that we want to do, and just making and shoving out new card packs isn't really the like. I get why people do it because it's good for business, but we're not just here to be good for business. We're here to be good for players. So, you know, I think Matt and I are going to keep trying to aim for, you know, once every year, um, with rolling out additions. Um, Now with land, you know, in the game, we said, all right, we like our game, but we want another round of strategy because it's a blind match right now, and we just think that there's more that we can do by um, if you get to see the cards and you get to make decisions, that goes from being blind to really just like pure strategy. And so both Matt and I are excited about that, and we said, hey, we want it so that players can mint cards, and we want these new cards to be items and spells, which are these things that can impact the map before the battle actually starts. So, but rather than just like package them in card packs and sell them, we were like, you know, what would be much cooler is if we gave the players the minting rights. You know, like right now, the cards on the secondary market are worth something like $22 million. So there's a lot of money in there. And if we give, you know, the rights to the players, that's another huge way that they can earn. And to us, it's sort of like everybody gets to establish their own little business. But it's not everybody, it's just the people that own lands. And we're not planning on rolling out tons of lands. We're not going to do every single year. You know, maybe with new games or something like that, you might see some land or something. But even that isn't decided, and you know, you can hear there's trepidation even saying it because, you know, Matt and I really want land to be scarce. Um, so for the players that have it, you'll be able to go harvest resources. Well, first you'll start by being able to claim them, and then after you claim them, you'll be able to start harvesting resources. And then after you harvest all these resources, you'll be able to build some buildings and craft items and spells. And then you'll be able to use those items and spells in the game to go impact combat. And like all the other NFTs, you'll be able to combine them, fight with them, rent them, sell them. Um, and you know, we're not planning on like selling these. We might put in some for like promotional reasons, but we might, you know, we're probably going to have to give some like soulbound cards so that everybody has like level 1 spells. So even if you choose not to do anything with items and spells, you still have something. But again, it's not going to be the kind of thing where you would own it. It would work kind of like your summoner spellbook. So that's kind of where we're going with lands, and hopefully that helps. Um, You do think that the tie rules need to be revised to reduce the 50-50 equivalent mirrors. All right, well, for the, that's fine, and this is part of why we want to go have the governance come around. In the meantime, sort of player governance, even though it's not the perfect title, player governance can go happen in the tournament planning because that's one of the biggest areas of governance. So if you guys want to go discuss that, how you want that to work out, and you guys can get broad agreement from, in particular, the Mavs, and in particular, the Mavs that are the most vocal about the game, then Matt and I can try to set up some time to get some devs on it and work it out. Let me see. And Knight, if you're here, yeah, he's here and have a mic. So I'm gonna go. I'm gonna unmute Knight, and I don't know if anybody else from there. Just heads up, Knight, you're now unmuted, and you're welcome on air if you can hear this.
Great. Yes. No, I hear you. Thanks.
Yeah, no, it's great to have you
Yeah.
here. I'm so excited that the YGG community is here. It's great to have people from in our AMA, somebody from like the official team here too. I'm excited. I hope to keep this up. Sorry I gave you like no notice. It's been a crazy week, but hopefully going forward we'll do a better job of communicating that. And how are
No,
things
no
going?
worries. Yeah, no, I actually anticipated us, the community looking for an update, so I did want to have at least a few things prepared in case we got called up. So I definitely welcome the invitation. So just first off, the response from the community has been really fantastic. I mean, there's been tons of people coming by the Discord. I know a number of you people listening. We've kind of recruited a few of you into some internal conversations to, I guess, trying to figure out what's working currently with respect to delegated accounts, delegated cards, and whatnot, as we kind of try to put together a broader model. The two main things that we're looking at doing, we're looking to stand up our first, I'll say our first, kind of formal scholarship. I don't think I'm leaking too much to say that we don't have a ton of cards in the possession of the guild as such, as one of our assets on our on the accounts right now. That said, though, we have had some offers of cards to be made available that we're trying to partner with some players to set up kind of a large initial scholarship. And then the other major initiative is we'd like to set up with some competitive players, kind of like a higher quality brawling team than I guess what I've been able to put together on my own. So we're looking for people who are, interested in brawling seriously, with, I guess along with us, with probably, I'm going to say probably within, well, there will be incentives if we get this program going, but I don't want to speak too much about that yet because I haven't got sign off from people.
I mean, that's exciting. It's good. Now, I just read that you guys raised like $3 million. Is that accurate?
Yeah, that is accurate.
And
Yeah, I think that's the Series A. Yeah.
so what's your plan with that? I mean, that's exciting things that maybe people in this community would be interested to hear about.
So I'm definitely not supposed to talk about stuff that's coming up, but so one of the things they're using it for is to pay people salaries for programs that we're doing. So so I was hired as I'm the engineering manager for YGG, and we're obviously developing something if we're hiring technical staff, but I can't really say what that is. But if you think about the concept of a player guild and incentivizing people to play games together and make money off of assets together, like you can kind of get an idea of what we might be up to.
Okay, well, that's exciting stuff. What else? How can the game help you guys, and how can you guys, or what would you want to do with us so that we can expand this partnership and grow scholars, or like what are your priorities, I guess, as you're thinking through interacting with the Splinterlands, what priorities are there and
Uh,
how can we help?
yeah, well, so first off, I just want to give a shout out to your moderators and your community for your patience. Again, I know that a lot of times, a lot of people come in, but not always necessarily with English as their first language, and without exactly understanding what there is to do in Splinterlands yet. And your patience is always appreciated. Please send them our way. We'll try to keep the chaos in line on our side too. Um, as far as I guess as far as what we're trying to do is we have a stable of existing scholars playing other games. We're going to try and ease them into Splinterlands as something else they can do, with with their assets, with their time, as well as since we have people who haven't even been able to get scholarships on some of the other games, get them involved for the first time, and Splinterlands may be their first experience. So yeah, I guess honestly, patience. Actually, there's a question here. What is a scholar? So um, a scholarship is sort of the meeting between a person who has assets and not necessarily time, and a person who has time but not necessarily assets. So it's a mutually beneficial relationship. The scholar being the labor providing person, where they get access to assets they wouldn't have necessarily been able to afford and earn on a play to earn game in exchange for that. Um, in general, philosophically, we don't believe in sweatshops, so all of our stuff skews very heavily towards the players, and then as well as anybody who works as an intermediary with the guild, kind of manage the day to day. So the scholars and managers, I think typically would make like 90% of the overall split within our typical setup. Sorry,
Yeah,
that was I just dived off there
no,
for a
no, no,
question.
that's great. I was going to ask about, or I was going to talk about that. They have 1,600 scholars right now. That's the last estimate that I read. And I know we have one of the first services that came to our game to go promote that was called the Heron. And it was literally, he just named all the accounts Heron. So that it became the Heron accounts. It was like Heron 1 and Heron 15 or whatever. So, so some of us know them as Herons, but I think we're gonna, I think we're gonna stick with scholars just because it's a much more well known term. I know it's less well known within Splinterlands, but with YGG being having like 1,600 of these people, and them coming back and forth here, our goal, in some places we should try to adopt language and terms used by the people that we're trying to help bridge here. So I think we should stick with scholars. And, it's kind of like Kleenex versus tissue. Herons was like a private service. So if we call it herons, that's like calling it Kleenex. And if we call it scholars, that's like calling it tissues. So maybe that's a weird example, but I'm trying to make it less of a private term and more of a public term, and hopefully people understand that what it really means is finding people to rent cards. Which, hey, Knight, do you know that we're doing a revamp of our rental system right now? Have we communicated that to you?
Oh yeah, no, I've been following it. I'm definitely excited about, I guess, seeing what the interface looks like, and how you do bundles of cards, things like that.
Yeah. So we have all this stuff coming, and so the timing of getting YGG to come here and start interacting with us, couldn't really be better because we've been seeing card prices go through the roof. We've been seeing new players signing up. Oh, that's actually, hey, I'm ready. I'm ready to go give a little leak. I'm glad that you're here on air. Um,
Ooh.
the We just hit a major milestone, and this we haven't even published this stuff yet. It'll probably come out next week, but officially we hit 100,000 registered users today. What do you think of that?
Oh, congratulations! And that's a huge milestone.
Yeah, it's taken us just over 3 years to get here. So, um, man, it was a ton of work, a lot of grinding it out. But honestly, I think it's like in life where they say, it's the first $1 million that's the hardest. It's same here. The first 100,000 of those are by far the hardest. When we get to our second 100,000, now with all the partners that we have and the friends that we have and the communities that we can interact with, and getting our token listed in a couple places, I think it's going to be a lot easier going forward than it was getting here. So I think that's why when people are looking at the cards, we're seeing a little bit of an S curve happen, or a little parabolic, just because we're seeing the fastest rate of new players coming on that we've ever had, um, and that creates a very positive feedback loop within our community. And so when we tie that in with making rentals easy and making scholarship easy and making payments easy and just try to make everything as easy as we freaking can, I think that's gonna just gonna put us in the best position we could possibly be in.
Yeah, yeah. It's as far as the how to administer them and whatnot. We are looking at like the rental system, but also a number of players have reported good results with just delegating entire accounts or giving posting keys. There's been we've gotten a lot of info from the player community. So thanks for helping us figure it out.
Yeah,
But we would like to
one of the
keep
next
moving that.
plans, we have a tool called Keychain, which is similar to MetaMask. It was designed after MetaMask, and that was actually a project that Matt, I, and a developer, StudKev, kind of carved out and planned. And it allows this funky thing. We have multiple keys on the Hive blockchain. You have your like posting key and your active key. Posting key is like not really for the financial transactions, and your active key is for those financial transactions. And one of the things that we're trying to figure out if we can do is make it so that you can give somebody account authority. So rather than give them the keys, you sign a transaction with your keys that say, yeah, that guy can basically act like they have my posting key, but you never have to give the posting key. So that if you want to like turn off, they have posting authority, you just turn it off and you don't have to like change your keys later or anything. You just tell them no more. So we're hoping that we can use this as a way to facilitate, um, you as the owner set up an account, you put all these cards on it, and then you want a player or a scholar to use it, and you just tell them, here, just sign in with this username, I'll authorize you. And you do the command and keychain, and now they can log in, and now they can play, and off they go. And then they tell you 3 months later, hey, I had a baby, I can't do this anymore. And you're like, okay, well, I'll turn that off and let somebody else use the account. And so they have posting authority so they can play, but they don't have active authority. So like any of the DEC that they earn or any of the cards that they earn, they can't transfer to different accounts. So you don't have to sit there and wonder like, well, do I have to trust this person to leave my cards on this account or the cash on this account? No, because
Mhm.
they only have the posting authority. So hopefully that ends up being
Yeah.
something that's super convenient for you guys, which would just be like on the back end, one time, you
Mhm.
say you can log in with XX account.
Yeah, no, that honestly, your guys' features with respect to delegation and account management, and the different keys is actually pretty cutting edge within the space in general. I mean, the way we work it on Axie is almost a kind of like a strange side effect of the bifurcated username, password, and key system that they use over there. This what we've got over here in Splinterlands is way cleaner. Uh, yeah. So anyway, just mad props for building that kind of flexibility into it. I wish all games worked like that.
No actual question. Yeah, well, right. So the Neil's asking about this thing. The posting authority access would be great. We would also need the active key authority. Yeah, yeah. If we build in the authorities, then I don't imagine that we'll do one but not the other. But for most of the Herons accounts or most of the scholars accounts, you'll just give them the posting key because you don't want them like here's a $5,000 account. You want them to be able to play it, but not transfer all $5,000. So, and then maybe there'll be some
Well,
automated services that you can also give like active key authority to, where now you're trusting a business that operates on chain to go move the funds every single week. Or maybe there's some open source bots where, once every 2 weeks, it either sells cards or it transfers cards or it transfers funds, and maybe that's a service or an open source project that gets created.
so just while we're on the subject of how this all works, one thing I kind of want to make clear is we really want to long term grow people who are participating in it, and I think that's a lot harder when you're playing an entirely delegated account. I mean, in the ideal world, we're delegating it. If we have the time and labor to do all this, we're delegating individual cards to help people along while they're making purchases and building their own collection on the side. We really want to splice in their own purchases alongside guild assets that are being loaned out to them.
Yeah, I don't quite know what's best for that. I've thought about that too because I don't know, I've probably done like 15 rental decks. They're not always active, but I've certainly thought about this a bunch. And I'm not sure that I have the best answer to that but I hear you that it's best if they're growing their own accounts too.
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah, it's also actually fine. I mean, we don't, our relationships with our scholars are not hostile. We're not like whipping them in the back or anything. Like, uh, everything's transparent in terms of earnings, which is kind of cool. You can go to that rewards portal on Peak Monsters and see what people are earning. We can operate somewhat on a trust basis. Putting up at risk what, like, one season's worth of earnings if they don't pay at the end of it the share. Like, working with rentals and operating on a season to season trusted basis is very doable. So I guess I'm not super worried about locking down the accounts too much as we roll out these programs.
yeah, I would hope that like as players are earning, they're also building their own wealth. And one other thing
Hmm.
that you can do is that you have you have rewards cards that are part of this, and you have potions and
Hmm.
dark energy crystals. So sometimes when I always did it where the player can get all the DEC, and I'll take the cards, and then I'll add in, if
Hmm.
it's a gold foil legendary, I'll give it to the player, and that's a lot of how the teams I've done have worked. But that's more to just
Hmm.
minimize the amount of work, and it's kind of the
Hmm.
opposite
Hmm.
of what might I might rather do, where they're actually building their teams. But again, that to me
Hmm.
is sort of where some of this automation can come in, where if players really want to see more rental, or if there are people that are skilled programmers that want to put out some open source bots or whatever, then we're going to have this opportunity to get the cards out there, and um, they'll earn while playing, and then at the end of every 2 weeks, the bot comes through and just transfers cards to personal accounts, and maybe DEC to the owner's account, and that kind of gets
Hmm.
to some of what you're talking about.
Yeah, yeah.
All right. Anything else you want to add? Again, my constant thing, the drum I will beat for probably years on end here is we're just excited to have you guys. If you find that there are priorities that you have, I wanna make them my priorities, and I want to make sure that this big guild that's in the space feels like they have a home in the Splinterlands to come play, come earn, come buy cards, and hopefully participate in the governance and the awesomeness that comes with SPS tokens and governance here.
Mhm. Yeah. There's one question from Byzantinist. I'd love to answer it
Yeah,
because
go for it.
it's a great one and it's tricky. So the question: how do you balance scholars who actually enjoy the game and those who are building up their own collections with people who are just playing to earn money and don't care about the game, just work? Yeah, no, that's a great question. So honestly, so far, I mean, I hope I'm not being too controversial saying it, but I think the focus has been on just getting people in the door to start with. But and kind of things I'm hinting at over time, it's all about incentive alignment. So there's people are going to want to perform generally because it produces higher rewards for them. But the I think the people who are going to perform the best are going to be the ones who actually enjoy it as well. Um, or who can tolerate doing it. The I guess the most period of time typically you're going to tolerate it more if you're having fun. Um, I guess the short answer is instead of alignment. I don't think we're at I guess we'd rather have somebody who's doing it for survival over that person not surviving. Like we wouldn't turn people away just because they are looking for something to do. But I think over time, the people will rise kind of the top of that, the people who are actually enjoying it, or people will stick with the game because they're enjoying it, whereas the ones that don't will drift off to whatever's the most profitable at that moment in time. So by building in incentives for sticking around, I guess you'll you know keep stickier players, I guess.
And that's the dream. Get them in, never let them leave, build our community as big as possible, and make them all, interdependent and socially connected. And then hopefully they not only enjoyed the game because it's a good fun game, but they just absolutely love our community and can't get it anywhere else. So,
Yeah,
uh, Knight, thanks
it's
for. Oh, go on.
mm. Oh no, no, it's hard. You can't really, it's very hard to tell the degree to which somebody is having fun. You can't force somebody to have fun. Like they're going to experience that on their own. The best you can do is make sure the incentives align so that if they're capable of having fun, they will.
Yeah. All right, Knight. Well, thank you for being here. Thanks for coming on. We'll get you back. I guess next time we'll do a nighttime one. I forget what time zone you're on, but we'll be at 8 p.m. Next Friday. So if you want to mark that on your calendar and give us an update, and I know we got a bunch of people that are anxiously awaiting because I get DMs from them that they want their scholars program to start and they want to apply and they want to get going. So when you guys are ready, there's customers waiting. So keep us in the loop. All right, I think he muted. All right, awesome. So next up, I don't see that many more questions. So we got about 15 minutes. Waffles Kitty, do you have a mic? Do you want to go talk to us about Digicon and kind of give a quick update for that? And Nate, do you have some image candy that you would like to share with us? Hopefully, I don't know. Are either of you guys here? All right. Why don't you guys ask a couple questions and we'll see if Waffles Kitty or Nate are able to come on. You guys just need to let me know if you have a mic. Just hoping here. Somebody write a quick question. Otherwise, I have to unmute Neil. Any sneak peek for the land stuff? Well, that's what I'm trying to get Nate to do. Yeah, and I missed the question for the Hive bridge. So putting on my Hive engine hat for a second, we rolled out the BSC bridge yesterday. Cub is on there, and SPS will be on there, and BUSD, and I think maybe BNB are all on there. I forget what he said. But it's so new. Don't hate me. So that went live, and now the next project for bridging is actually going to be Wax. So the NFTs on Hive Engine should be Wax compatible, and Wax itself should be built onto the exchange. And I'm hoping that it's not too long. Wax is like a fork of EOS, and EOS is already sort of supported. EOS fees have gone through the roof, and so it's kind of broken right now, or it's a little bit too expensive to fix right now. But at least in theory, the thing works. Wax doesn't have the same, I would call it, mismanagement problems. So hopefully that'll function. And then I hear you guys talk about Alcor. That it's not quite on my radar yet, but it'll get there. Waffles Kitty, Nate, either of you guys able to come on air and come talk about either Digicon or give us some new candy? They're both fake news in me. All right. Question: has Waffles given up on Byzantine Kitty as her favorite card? We can only hope so. Too much cuteness. It just can't be. Can't battle that well. We're gonna have to. It's like cuteness and potential have to be inversely proportional. All right, Polly is asking a real question here. What about a cap for max collection power in lower leagues and not only a minimum cap? Yeah, I don't think that we've thought much about adding caps. I don't know what to do about that. I'm not going to answer that one. I'm gonna punt. We'll wait till Matt's here, and we'll get his thoughts. Generally, I don't think that we want anything that's going to hold back players from trying to level up. But there could be question or could be thoughts for that. Nate, I have unmuted you. Do you want to give us a little eye candy here, sir?
I'm looking for some. Can you hear me?
Now I can hear you great.
Okay, great. Let me see. I didn't really have anything prepared, but I can find something real quick. Let me see.
Yeah, I should give you more notice, but you should just assume that if I see your name in the sidebar, I'm gonna say, "Hey, Nate, show us some eye candy," because we all want to see it.
Okay, so let's see. Something that I was working on this past week, and I've handed off to Cryptomancer. I think he has almost finished it. It's not much, but it's something. Let me see. Oh, we changed the name though. So this is the revised mana screen. We're no longer calling the stuff up top foci. Instead, they're just going to be called boosters. We figured that'll be easier to understand what those are for. Um, but we find that as we add more and more packs to the game, the mana screen was becoming a little unwieldy. So we went over some various options, and we decided that the best route is to just let the players slide along the bottom their various packs. Something else would be no, that's not Chaos Legion. That is a Gladius case. Um, and several AMAs ago, we were discussing different naming possibilities for the Gladiator packs. We finally settled on Gladius case. So the Gladius cases will hold the new Gladiator cards, which is part of the Brawls experience. So you'll be able to buy Gladius cases using the individual rewards that you receive for participating in the brawl, and those will be that new currency, or if you weren't aware of it already, will be called merits. So besides earning crowns for your guild, individuals will also get merits, and they'll be able to spend those merits in the new guild store, which is another building that you'll be able to level up along with the arena and the barracks. Um, what else do I got here? I do have Cryptomancer hasn't even seen this. No one has seen this actually because I was
That's
fiddling
my
with.
that's my
Uh,
favorite.
so just keep in mind that everything is, subject to change. But this is a possible screen that you might be seeing soon with brawls. Uh, let me. Here we go. So that is when you click that the battle on your fray, and you realize, oh no, I'm in an enemy arena. This is not good. Right now, it's kind of meaningless. You see that some of your tabs on your frays are blue and some are red, and you don't really think much of it. But in the upcoming changes to Phase 2 brawls, that will have meaning, that will have significance. So when you click on that red button, chances are you're going to have a chill go up and down your spine, and you think, "Oh man, what's going to happen next?" So that has to do with entering an enemy arena, is what you're seeing there, and the disadvantages that you're up against because your enemy guild has decided to level up their barracks and train their gladiators and their players and their summoners to do certain things. Um, so there you go. That's what I have on hand. That's easy. Otherwise, I'd keep you guys waiting as I look through files and try to find something new. But hopefully, that's enough to whet people's appetite for what's to come.
Yeah. Do you want to give some broad categories of stuff that you're working on? So thank you for the eye candy. Just what are some of the big projects? Like what has been your focus or where um, like what's the immediacy of your brain and your work?
Sure. We have a lot of high urgency tasks. And for those who have an eagle eye vision, you might have spotted the extra balance at the top in the header of the last screen I shared. It does have SPS balance added along with credits and dark energy crystals. What happens when you click on that balance is a big part of what I'm working on now, and it's very involved. And maybe we'll start off with do like we've done in the past, start off in phases. But we do want to, as soon as possible, give players the ability to see the splinter shards and be able to transfer them between the Binance Smart Chain and the game itself. So eventually, that's going to, I'm creating the UX and the UI to figure out, okay, what's the best way to allow people to do all the things that we expect people to be able to do with this new token, this new magical currency. So So that's very involved. So besides
Wait,
trying to
come
push
on.
that as fast,
Isn't it just one little icon and you push a button and that's all that you have to do?
oh my goodness. Now, so we want to make sure people are able to transfer, people are able to stake, and then as you guys, anyone who's read the white paper know how involved staking may or may not be. And then, I mean, there's just a lot involved. So we want to make sure that's a pleasurable, non-frustrating, user-friendly experience, and we're pretty excited to bring that to you. And we'll
User
probably do that.
friendly cross chain experience. Like if you guys pull this off, it's heroic. I mean, like how many things are like functional cross chain and super smooth? It just
No, and definitely, and I think that goes hand in hand with the overall reason why Splinterlands has been more successful than so many other blockchain games is because you and Matt have allowed me to really sink my teeth into how can we make this as user friendly as possible, not just for crypto enthusiasts, but for anybody. And I think that we haven't reached the promised land yet, but I think we're much further along the journey than a lot of other companies and a lot of other games. And I think that that's a big part of our success. And I think that the more we push that, the more success that we'll see. So I'm pretty excited at what taking all this complexity. I mean, it is challenging. I'm tearing my hair out half the time, but trying to take cross-chain, blockchain concepts and display them in a user-friendly manner. That could be challenging for sure.
it's also
Other
rewarding. I just want to chime in that like, the Wax bridge that we've done has been super successful. Just lots of people from Wax coming in, lots of people spending Wax, lots of new gamers from Wax. The market cap has certainly enjoyed having Wax folk here. And I think as we keep doing that, you know, if you start a token project, your big goal is to get listed on exchanges. And I want people to recognize that one of the big goals for NFT projects is to get listed on marketplaces. So think of a marketplace for NFTs as kind of the equivalent of an exchange listing for a token or a crypto. And so, as we go forward, we keep looking for opportunities. There's some names out there like Flow or Binance Smart Chain or Engine or I don't know. There's Mutable X. There's a bunch of these where if we can integrate successfully, and I promise you, we are looking at which ones are we doing first. It's not a matter of you know if we'll do it. It's like how quickly can we do it? Do we have the resources to get this done? Each one of these chains works differently. Are there people to help us? But whatever. It's all a lot of this effort is around how can we interoperate on blockchains and then we're like, hey, Mr. Nate, it would be great if you take this really complicated task of moving assets between chains, between wallets, between platforms, between different types of marketplaces with funky abilities and their own unique stuff. Please just make that really easy for everybody. So if you have done those transfers and seen them, work pretty smoothly, that has to do with Nate's eye for design and user experience. And this game and this community have certainly benefited from your work. So thanks.
Absolutely, and you're right. The more, I mean, we are based on Hive, and we really love Hive. But in most regards, as far as gameplay and interoperability, I think that yeah, Splinterlands is as chain agnostic as most games can get. I mean, and the compatibility that we have with so many platforms, yeah, it's amazing. Um, Absolutely. But
I,
but
I,
yeah, besides SPS and besides the brawls, the other thing would probably be, of course, land distribution. Everyone's frothing at the bit to get their claims transferred into like deeds, into actual. There's my plot. I can see it, my track, my region on the continent of Praetoria. So that, of course, is also a big priority. So yeah, I'm kind of all over the place a little bit.
all right. Well, thank you for your work. Thanks for helping us, and thanks for being here. I hope you know that this community stands behind your work, and this company just thinks the world of you. So I'm glad you're here. All
Yeah,
right.
thank you very much.
Hey, Waffles, are you here? If she's still fake newsing me, then we're going to I guess Carrie or Chris. We got a couple minutes left, and I don't see any more questions. So Carrie, Chris, or Waffles. Next AMA is going to be 8 p.m. Eastern, and Matt would tell you what time that is, but he's not here for UTC. All right, Carrie's muted. Let me unmute her. Carrie, do you want to go give us like a quick heads up for the next Digicon?
Yes, indeed, my dears. So we have scheduled the next Digicon is to be on July 17th. Let me make sure that's true. Yeah, July 17th. So next month. We've just started sending out emails, or I've been having Sarah do that, get the booth holders ready, the ones that are already existing booth holders. As usual, if you guys know any projects or something new to crypto or a new fun game that's happening, send them our way so we can get them into a booth this time as well. We're also looking for lots and lots of swag. At Digicon number 3, this last time in May, we had like $4,000 worth of swag that ended up going out to a bunch of different people this time. It was pretty substantial, and we'd like to keep that ball rolling and really just offer a lot of fun stuff for everybody and different drawings that we can do for different types of projects so we can, like keep the goal that we've always had, which is make friends with everybody in this blockchain gaming environment. And to follow up on what Nate was saying, we are really chain agnostic. Like, we want to play with everybody. We want to bring people here to Hive, of course, but we really like having that interoperability of, at least being able to take other tokens, and we can take a whole bunch of them, and just giving use cases to a lot of other ones. So like I said, if you have any projects or ideas of people who might want booths, send them our way. We'll get that going. And then probably in like a week or so, we'll be opening it up to more people. We do want to give the recent booth holders a chance to get dibs on what they have right now. So yeah, I think we'll have a lot of fun coming up at this new Digicon, and there's a lot. We're in the news a lot more now, like Aggroed has mentioned before. Marketing is picking up and things like that. So we're just getting a lot more attention. And so we're hoping that Digicon's going to keep getting bigger and more fun and exciting, and give a lot of prizes and just have a good time and make those connections that we want to make. And I guess that's it for Digicon, really.
Is Chris around? Does he want to share anything with the team here or with the community?
He is down there. I don't know if he's set up. There he is. Yeah.
Let me go unmute Chris. All right, Chris. I think you're going to kind of take us out of here. We got another minute or two. If you kind of want to share some of what you've been working on and just let folks know, and then we'll wrap up this AMA because we've already hit the hour. But I want to give you a chance to tell us what's up.
Yeah. I've been working really hard on a lot of exciting things. Kind of wearing a bunch of different hats lately. I'm doing, fantasy lore stuff as we get prepared for the eventual release of Chaos Legion. I'm really stoked about that. The art is going to be great. I've been working on a lot of these press release marketing announcements. So we're working with a PR firm, and we're looking at some different methods and ideas to get our news more widely spread. But like Carrie said, it's already doing a great job of getting out there and just seeing new attention all the time, and a lot of action on Twitter. We're excited about Digicon. Yeah, I mean, it's just a great time to be a Splinterlander, as I keep saying in the gold foil presses and the updates and announcements and things. It's just a pretty exciting time. We're watching the market values of the cards go up. We're watching the overall market cap of the cards go up. So it feels pretty good to be part of this community where everybody's got this. I don't know. We've got feel like we own our assets in this game, and it's really growing in value, and it's just like a dream come true. I love Splinterlands.
Awesome. All right, guys, we're a couple minutes over, so we're going to leave it at that. Sorry Matt couldn't be here today. I know he's the more handsome, fun, and awesome one of the two of us, but you just have to live with me for today. It's been a pleasure. It's always a pleasure. Giant fan of this community. Giant fan of the way that you treat each other. Thank you for being here. Thanks for sharing our game. And let's really try to go help people see how this is a great place to come and earn. That this is a great place to buy some assets. That this is a great place to rent some assets. This is a great place to come and play and dedicate some time and grow your teams. And this is a really wonderful community to be a part of, to make friends, to hang out, and to just live, enjoy, and generally peaceful, good interactions with one another. So I thank you guys. Thanks for being here. Super proud of our game. Super proud of what we're doing, and it's awesome. So I'll see you guys next week. We'll have some more updates. I think Matt should be here, and this next one will be later in the evening. So maybe we'll get Manser on air, and we'll see what else is available. So thanks everybody, and we'll talk soon.